This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
GameWorn Radio is on the air.
Hey! Gentlemen, score! Hopping the Cordova, baby! We're going bowling. Now, let's go on Moose on a Harley. The fires, he scores! LA face with an Oakland booty. Make me a bicycle. They score! Bowmeister paid that man his money.
GameWorn Radio.
Hey everybody, it's Derek, GameWorn Radio, part of GameWorn.us, and I am here with the usual crew, plus Dave Ambrosio. And today we're going to talk about you guys. We're going to talk about the fact that there actually can be bad buyers, which is awesome that I've experienced that recently. Let's see, we're going to talk about maybe the new Adidas jerseys, and what people think of those, anticipated demand for them. And we can also talk about maybe just some general etiquette and where that can get you in the hobby. And then anything else you guys want to bullshit about. So, to lead off, what do you guys want to talk about first out of those, men?
I'm thinking Adidas is still the biggest thing out there right now.
You think? Ugh.
Yeah, I agree. The Adidas jerseys.
Well, alright. My thing about the Adidas is all the... You know, you see all the marketing that they put in it and whatnot, which is fine. I mean, I'm not knocking it or anything, but I like how they, like, it doesn't look like, at least until, you know, we see the final whatevers, that the jerseys are necessarily going to be uniform. I think that it's going to be interesting because I've seen their, and they could, it's subject to change, but I've seen the mock-ups of what the different jerseys will be. And some of them have the perforated numbers on the back, and some of them don't. And I've heard inklings that some of the teams don't want to drop their letter suppliers, so some of them won't have it, which I think will be pretty interesting. That's neither here nor there. I mean, I guess we got to see until they hit the ice, but we've seen samples out there in the wild, like the Winnipeg Jets jerseys didn't have perforated numbers either. So it'll be really interesting to see which teams do and don't, if that's the case. Because that was like one of their big, huge... The jersey's going to be so much lighter, and it's going to be all because these perforated numbers. So I think that's going to be what intrigues me a little bit. Not that I necessarily care. Because, well, let's face it, the Red Wings jerseys will always be the same. Nothing's going to change on that.
I mean, you eventually hit a point where you're not going to be able to make the jerseys any lighter unless you take the frickin' sleeves and crap off of them. I mean, even perforating the numbers over using the regular numbers, there's not a big gain there. Some teams are going to go one way, some are going to go the other. I mean, basically really what it comes down to is what looks good. I'm curious to see how the wear will end up being on the jerseys and how they'll hold up.
Yeah, you know, that was another one of the bullet points that they put on there is how the jerseys are going to be stronger and less resistant to tearing and easier to clean and shit like that. So, I mean, they're kind of positioning it to be like, you ain't going to see any wear on them.
We don't see any wear now. Everybody wears 20 sets of jerseys. What's the difference?
I don't know. It's not a standard rule. I mean, I've talked about that with the Red Wings jerseys.
Well, I mean, like some teams look at Nashville until they went to the finals. They were only wearing 2 sets, so you were guaranteed you were going to get wear in those jerseys. But yeah, other teams, even as David and I both well know, the Blues with 4 sets,
5.
Oh, sorry, I take that back. You're right. I mean, yeah, I've got some ones like the Upshaws with the good repairs, but there's only a couple actual stick and puck marks. A lot of that stuff they get washed out the best they can.
Well, they're doing heavier laundering now because all the TV, they don't want to see dirty jerseys. That's what I talked to our friend in St. Louis, and he said they were given the mandates to get those things clean. If you couldn't get something clean, put a fresh sweater in, and it was like, wait a minute. What happened to the old days? Destroy them. 2 sets, that's it. Beat them until they can't be worn.
High definition TV ruined it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, also,
And
I mean, look at what came out with Migrate and the Predators. How
Yep.
the Predators requested new jerseys before the actual rotation.
Well, no, that's incorrect. What happened is the Predators were going to wear their jerseys all the way through, and Migrate forced them to change. That's what I was told by Jim Montague, because I bought a Seasons Set 2 because I like the kid, and I bought it from Jim, and it has a ton of wear, but the repair, it's just repairs. You don't see any stick marks, and Jim told me that they wanted to wear them all the way through the Stanley Cup, and they said, no, you have to wear a new set of jerseys for finals in the Cup.
We talked about that specific instance on the show once. What was it, 2 shows ago? And almost the next day, I got a call from Migrate to let me know exactly what happened from their
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. See, as you know, there's 100 stories out there with its A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. So, unless you're dealing directly with the people, so
Yeah,
it makes it a little different.
Well, at
The
least-
story I got was that Migrate had them planned to wear through up until the Stanley Cup Finals, and then they wear a Stanley Cup Finals set, which is pretty much the norm for any Migrate team. But the Predators equipment manager called them up and said, hey, these jerseys are too beat up, so we need to start that new set right now.
I was gonna
And that
say,
was was that round 3?
Yeah.
I think the Anaheim series is where they got probably the most beat up,
Yeah.
and then
It'd be the conference
like-
finals. So to start the conference finals, right after the semifinals there, the conference semis,
Right.
They had said we need to get new jerseys in here. So that's what I'm being told by Migrate. So they'd be
Well,
more
that
in
shows
the
us
know
one
than
thing.
anybody
They
else.
listen to the podcast.
That's for sure. I'd like
There
to
you
get
go.
them on the show here and there. It'd be nice, even if they don't have anything to say until their name pops up. That'd be fine. But that's an hour of their time out of the week, and I'm sure they're busy people. But it'd be nice to have them.
Yeah, it'd be fun to hear Barry get on or get Jim Montague.
he was once,
Yeah, I had
Was
Barry
he?
on once.
but it was
It was
We
more of a
won't talk about
scheduled
that.
thing, not a regular thing. And Stu would be a good guy to have on there. He's got a lot of good opinions and stuff, but I know those guys kind of like to have more time to be able to think about what they want to say and whatnot, which I don't blame them. Everybody's running a business and representing a business. Apparently I represent a business, but I don't feel that way. I think in my eyes I've got, what I do with the website, and then I've got what I do in my personal time. I don't like to mix and mingle, but not everybody plays by the same ball. But I don't play by everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like anymore, even with the modern day jerseys, the only wear you get is from like a goalie. Not it because they've
on the
kind of
team,
taken.
man. I'm telling you, it depends on the team and it depends on the player. I showed you that, Anderson. And it's funny too, I always say the Red Wings wear one set a season, and then they wear their playoff set. Unfortunately, this last season they wore 2 sets. But last season at the Joe, so I'm not too terribly surprised on that.
Have you heard, are they going to have the Mr. I patch again this year? Or are they going to just have the regular 100 years NHL patch?
I heard that they're gonna have the Mr. Eye patch.
Boy, that's going to piss a lot of people off who waited out to get all those jerseys.
I haven't had that confirmed or anything, but I've heard that, he said, she said down the pipeline that may or may not be true, that could be the case.
Right.
And I don't know about the Gordie Howe patch. That one might be retired, so you might have that, because they did get to wear that all season. But there's always the option to throw another one on there for some reason.
Depends
I know
on who
Bobby's-
passes away.
It's true.
Yeah. I know
those-
Bobby's pushing for a bunch of patches for Carolina.
Carolina. Well, I think isn't one of them like 2025 or something like that?
Yeah, one of them, they're going to put on the helmet instead of as a patch on the jersey, citing that they didn't want to put a bunch of patches on the jersey, and they already had the NHL 100 Centennial patch going on there.
There's a team that needs help.
I'm gonna say even Calgary, even when they did the 25 and 30, they still did, the patch in the corner of their shirts. I've never heard of them just doing a decal on the helmet and not something on the jersey, but because I would think even just for not just for the game worn people, but for retail, when you sell the replica or you sell the the authentics, that'd be a great way to get more people to buy more of your stuff, and especially with it being Adidas. Now that could be the issue too. Adidas might not want all those patches on it.
Adidas can't make that call though. The NHL and the teams do.
They supply the jersey and
Okay.
that's it. It's like, wear my brand of jersey, and that's pretty much all they have to say on.
Okay, well, thanks for helping me out.
What was I gonna say with that too? I guess the other thing is as overall they're gonna be popular. And plus you've got Vegas in the mix. They had 150 already email requests in.
Something like that. I was one of them, but yeah.
What's that for the Vegas shit?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
emailing Migrate for pre-orders.
Can't wait to see what that costs.
It would be cool to do that.
120. It was 120. They got 120 requests.
I heard a number of $1,000 for a low-level player.
Nope. It's a great opportunity for them to make some coin here, but I don't see for me, there's no drive.
I
have the letter right here.
Great, it's an inaugural season, whatever. Big whoop. There's always something to bandwagon, man. There's always something to bandwagon.
You should hear how it's going to be broken down for these jerseys. I have the email because I was one. Mine wasn't because it's the Knights. Mine's because of a certain player. So, it said received more than 120 requests with NHL team before it was ever blah blah. Our request was as a non-binding. Sorry.
Get to the point, man.
There's pretty much.
How's it going to be broken down? They're going to wear 8,000 jerseys per player? What?
Pretty much.
Well, I heard they're going to wear an opening night jersey that they're going to give away to the season ticket holders.
I'm surprised they wouldn't be going straight to their personal archives.
Well, that's it. They're going to have a set for the archives. They're going to have a jersey for the first game, and then I'm assuming the first jersey is going to go to the archives and or into the team archives, and then they're going to probably have a backup set that they're going to sell, which is the first jersey. Then they're going to kind of do the Connor McDavid thing where it's one each period, and then there's promotional stuff. Oh yeah, no, it says something also about we can't dictate, which stuff's going to be used for promotionals, and then what stuff. It was so you're pretty much saying each player is going to have 7 jerseys for a season, which means you're going to have, for an entire team, you're going to have a lot, and then if you charge $1,000 for that, that means you can pretty much sell the rest of your warehouse for $100 and still come out ahead.
No, I'm completely not surprised, man. Everybody. This is an internal thing that I struggle with frequently. Is what drives me crazy is sensationalism, and every time there's something new, everybody wants to get in on it, and that shit drives me nuts. That's why I can't bring myself to even care. Is because I knew
I agree. I was collecting pucks before everybody, and somebody jumped in instead of collecting pucks. Now I can't get a puck.
Mm-hmm. Sensationalism drives me crazy, and it goes beyond the collecting world. When politics, everybody jumps on a topic and beats the shit out of it. Jokes, everybody comes up with a new joke and spreads it and beats the shit out of it. All that share this crap, dude. Fuck all that. I hate it, dude. I hate sensationalism. I really do. Personal struggle.
Okay, here we go. Here's what I was looking for. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It said certain sets of jerseys will be offered. Here you go, Derek, your favorite. Offered via auction. Certain sets will be archived by the club. Certain sets will be offered for retail sale. Details will be announced when the season approaches.
So that means MyGray.com auctions will have a set of jerseys, and eBay will have a set of jerseys.
Well, why wouldn't you at this point? I mean, people are gonna buy the shit, so pump it out.
Oh,
Like on the
why
business
not?
aspect.
Vegas? Oh.
Fuck, dude. I mean, if I had that contract, I probably would do the same. I would flood the
Well,
fuck
I
out
have
of the inaugural season. Just flood it. Because everybody
Yeah.
wants a piece. First year, everybody wants a piece. Next year, the second year, it's only going to be the fans of the team. But everybody wants it on the first year. So you get your nut then, and then you move on. And it's business as usual.
If I don't get it first year, I'm okay with that. I'm not, like I say, I personally am just doing it for a certain player because that's the player I collect. Got sent over to Vegas, so at least I'm hoping it'll be next year. Who knows?
Sorry for my long.
The way they're
pause,
moving,
my mug is heavy.
Yeah, the way they're moving guys, who knows?
by the time all the guys they drafted and stuff, by the time you get to season, none of those guys will be with the team.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
no
be a
kidding.
new team. That was fun though. I mean that was the most entertaining thing. I liked the draft this year just because of all the twists and turns and all the deals and the expansion draft and the if you take this player we'll give you this other thing. I liked that. It was fun.
It's neat because we've not seen that in quite a few years now. It's kind of cool seeing all that stuff go down.
It definitely wasn't like that during the Blue Jackets and Wild expansion draft. That's for sure.
Yeah. They also didn't have to pay $500 million for a team.
No,
Yeah,
no.
little bit of a difference there.
Yeah.
But I know, I mean, I've talked to guys in St. Louis and other places that are planning on going to Vegas to see their team play just because they want to go see the arena and get a chance to go to Vegas. I mean, that in itself is just hellacious great marketing. Let's go to Vegas and watch a hockey game.
Oh, dude, I was toting that when they announced it, and everybody's like, I don't know if hockey's gonna work in Vegas. I was like, dude, you don't understand. Like, Vegas is the smartest fucking place for them to drop. Because plane tickets are cheap, everybody vacations there, people are going to take their vacations around their team's schedule, and then you'll have the residents that'll still buy tickets to go there. Like, people will follow their team to Vegas more so than they follow their team somewhere else.
Plus, it's Vegas during the winter. You know, where else are they going to want to go? You know, it's nice and warm usually. There, it's a perfect weekend trip.
Here's the funny thing about Vegas, though: all the suites were sold to casinos. Very few private businesses bought the suites. They went to all the casinos.
That's how they pay their high rollers.
Well, exactly. And 25% of the season tickets were sold to casinos. So once that starts, if they can't put asses in the seats, it's going to be an embarrassment.
No,
the first bunch of games it'll be, but if you... Well,
shit sells.
You know,
shit sells, man. Worst case scenario, they give it away to a random fucker in their
I
team.
went... My friend ran the Atlanta Thrashers. I was there the inaugural season. The first couple of games were great, and then all of a sudden couldn't put a good product on the ice, and people stopped going. And by the second, third season, 20%, 30%, and I feel that's what's going to happen because I don't think Vegas, as nice as it is for them to have a team, I don't think Vegas is going to be able to sustain having it forever.
The casinos don't care if the tickets that they buy are used. They don't care, and they will continue to buy them. So even if asses aren't in seats, those seats still get sold, and the team's still going to make money because the casino's still going to buy them regardless. It don't matter. It's like when I go there.
Look at Florida.
I go there for my work conventions, and I get when we set up a little we do like a seminar for the software that my company I work for makes. Right? They comp us 2 tickets to a show. Well, they comp us 2 tickets to a hockey game. Like, people will take the tickets, and then at that point, once they comp those tickets out, it doesn't matter if you go.
No, the point I'm making is everybody can buy 100 tickets to every game. It doesn't matter. The point is when the fan base isn't there and they don't get real support, because I believe the casino is a fake support. Okay, great. We've got the money. We're making money hand over fist. But at the end of the day, if you don't have real fans in the seats to cheer it on, and you've got fans from the other teams, as you see in some of these other hockey cities, where it's cheaper for fans to fly from certain cities to other cities to see their team rather than see them in their own city, I believe it's not a sustainable product. And I don't mean to take away tonight's focus, but I don't think it's a sustainable product there.
I agree with you 100%. You're talking about a low population area, but what's the population of Vegas? 600, 700,000? No one there cares about hockey. It's people coming from out of town. I mean, we've seen this in Arizona. We've seen it in Atlanta. I do agree you will have people from out of town coming in for games. But you're not going to do 20,000 for every game.
No.
That way. And what fans of Florida, Arizona, got half the southern teams in the league. I mean, they're not going to travel.
Here's my
I
thing,
think
though,
you're looking
at what point do you think the casinos are going to stop buying tickets? I don't think. I think that's in the bag every single season, no matter what. So that's a guaranteed market.
Why are they buying tickets? What's the motivation?
To comp them to their people.
Tax write-off.
I'm not sure how many people heading to Vegas are heading there for hockey.
It doesn't matter. It's like when I went there, I didn't go there to see a Penn and Teller show, but they're like, hey, here's a list of venues or events that you can go to on us for having your event here. And on the list was Penn and Teller, and I was like, all right, I'll take those, and they gave me tickets.
You give something free to someone. You give someone something free, and they're more likely going to go and check it out and see what it is. And who knows, they might go and actually enjoy themselves. And then it's like, hey, I might ask for more of these, or I might start buying my own tickets next time I come to Vegas if I come here every year.
A paid ticket's a paid ticket one way or another. Don't matter if people go or not. Paid ticket.
Yeah, I just think in 2, 3, 4 years, you're looking like the crowds you get in Arizona and Florida.
I don't even think that's the case because shows sell out there. People want shit to go to, and that place the population may be low, but somebody coming in, I can't go see Celine Dion, that shit sold out. I can't go see Cirque du Soleil, that shit sold out, or it's too expensive. Let's go to a hockey game.
Well, and part of it, I think, too, will come back to management. I mean, we're comparing Arizona, who management from the top down couldn't find their head with their ass with both hands. Compared to Vegas, you may actually have a shot at a management group that might be able to figure out how to do shit. Phoenix has no clue.
True.
Because Arizona every year is like, oh, we're rebuilding. Oh, well, how many years are going to keep rebuilding? You know.
Yes,
I think it'll be successful.
Only time will tell. I think there's a lot of good points on it, but we'll see. We'll have to revisit this if we're still doing this shit in 5 years.
Hell, we'll be doing this shit forever.
If we're alive. I might be dead. Shit.
Keep drinking that giant beer. It may not take that long.
Fucking A, huh? All right, so let's switch topics. Let's talk about bad buyers. So we all look out for bad sellers, right? So somebody you give your money to, you don't get the jersey, you don't get what's described. Not very many people necessarily think, like, look out for bad buyers because, you know, you get the money for the item and then you ship the item, right? So bad buyers, what do I got to worry about? They exist. So some pointers that I like to point out or I want to talk about to maybe encourage people or have them understand what a bad buyer is and how to avoid being one. One of them would be sending payment in a manner that you guys discuss and then making the other people eat the fee. So everybody knows PayPal takes their cut or whatever. If you pay with a credit card, you know, it's necessarily understandable that to accept those forms of payment, you're going to eat the 3% or whatever. But when it comes to a money order where I have to buy the thing to send out, or a bank transfer, if you have to pay money to make that bank transfer, if you don't pre-negotiate that, like, hey, I want to pay you by bank transfer. If you want to pay me by bank transfer, to me that tells me that you're going to pay whatever fees are associated with that to get me the money, right? So if you have the option to take the bank transfer fee out of your payment, you're probably going to be a bad buyer. And then on top of that, hassling people about shipping. Like, you pay with a payment method that might take some time. Maybe you send a check in the mail, or maybe you send a bank transfer. Nobody should be shipping anything until they actually receive the money where they can cash it out, unless you pre-negotiate it. So if you send me something like in a check, I'm going to cash that check, and when that check clears, I'll ship it out to you. I don't give a fuck about your timeline. I don't care if you're going on vacation. I don't care if you need it here by a specific date. You should have thought about that shit before. It's not my problem. But when you send me money, I ship it when it clears. Don't message me every single day after you send me the money that I haven't received and ask me if I've shipped your shit yet.
And it makes it. I mean, we've all done that between us and people we know that, hey, or because I know some guys make payments. I've done it. Other people have, where they'll ship it before it's paid. But it's different because you have a personal relationship with that person. You have a history with that person. Yeah, if you're just reaching out to some random collector that doesn't know you from anybody, you've got to be cautious, because I mean, we've seen so many different people get burned in different ways. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, it's not hard to be a buyer. It's not hard to not be a bad buyer. You know, send the money. When the money clears, you know, give it some time and be like, hey, did the money clear yet? If the money did clear, then be like, hey, what's the shipping tracking? If you really care that much. I mean, the big thing is be patient. People got lives and shit going on too. They might not even be able to ship the next day after, you know, they receive payment. If it's been a few days, then yeah, sure, say something. But damn, dude, it's like a little bit of etiquette goes a long way when you're a buyer. I know everybody's excited to get their stuff, but I mean, try to buy something on Amazon right now without a Prime membership. You know, your shit doesn't even get boxed up for 5 days. So I mean,
exactly.
I don't know why people treat or want, you know, transactions between private people to be any different than, you know, some other company. Like, you can't go to Amazon and be like, hey, ship me that shit, and then when I get it, I'll give you some money. It doesn't work like that. You can't go to Amazon and be like, hey, I'm going to pay you for this stuff, but I'm going to send you this money order, and they're going to take fees out of that money order. Like, they would look at that thing and be like, you're short. Where's the rest? You know? And then it's like, the specific instance I'm talking about, the guy even threatened to call the police. Like, we went well out of our way, right, to acquiesce to these requests. I don't have an international bank number, right, and the person's from out of country. So we found a collector that would be willing to collect the money for us, transfer it over, you know, so we have a couple different people involved. And he wants to shortchange the order. And then he wants to complain about, like, not shipping right away. It's like, the money hasn't cleared. You did an international bank thing. And then you try to charge us fees on top of that. And he's like, you better ship by such and such a date, otherwise I'm calling the police. Fuck it, call the police. I'm done. You know, we're going to do our thing. It's business as normal. If you want to try and do something outside of that, that's fine. I just tell whoever wants to call me up. It's business as normal. I mean,
I agree.
I try to do the best I can for everybody, but I can't. Dude, bad buyers, man. Like, I never thought.
And is this
a buyer? Would be
is
a
this
problem.
buyer? Is this buyer somebody that's new to the hobby, or have they been around a while?
Well, I started a thread talking about the situation on Bad Traders group.
And I remember reading that now.
Right? And it's funny because it should just be bad fucking people. Because I couldn't believe it. Like, a bad buyer. Like, for me, that's kind of hard to wrap my head around.
Pretty rare.
How can you be a bad buyer?
So, Derek, we copied the name essentially from the Bad Beer Trader Seller Group. So there was some history on the naming choice, but you are right. It's basically for issues within the hobby.
Yeah.
And as you saw, there's been a couple of conversations about him.
Yeah, who
no
would have
names
thought
here,
that you
but-
could be a bad buyer? Like, it never even thought in my mind that you could be a bad buyer. And come to find out, like, a bunch of people were having issues with this person.
I mean, I can understand people get frustrated with the tire kickers or whatever. They're constantly asking every time you post another jersey for sale, hey, this about it, that about it, and never buy or whatever. I know that frustrates people, but you know what? That's part of the hobby. Move on. But yeah, when it's like, okay, I'm gonna make sure that you lose this a little bit of money and that little bit of money, and you're gonna eat it all instead of me. Yeah, you get into some issues there.
I mean, in just normal transactions, I mean, that's why people send PayPal friends and family, is because nobody wants to eat the fees. Like, and I hate that custom that we've gotten to. We've been accustomed to, if I'm the buyer, I'm going to give you the money that you ask with whatever payment method that I choose, regardless of the fees that you incur. And it's always the seller incurring the fees. It's like, when I'm a seller, I want to say, I'm going to sell it to you for this price. That's how much money I want cash in hand. And I hate that we've gotten and grown accustomed to the seller always eating fees on that. You know? And why is it the seller that has to eat the fees when it's buyer convenience? You know, it's a digital payment, and the seller eats the fees to accept the payment, but it's a convenience for the buyer to make the payment in that method, right? Otherwise, I could be like, hey, send me a check. Hey, send me Western Union. And as a buyer, I mean, we see this with the auction houses, right? And I can see why they don't want to accept those other payments, but you know what I'd do? Well, I wouldn't have such high fees, but you just tag it onto the fees. It's what we've done for the website right now. We just tack on 3%. Here's what we want plus 3% every time. So now, even if you wanted to pay with check, you're paying 3% to cover the fees if in the event you would have chosen to pay by PayPal or whatever, right? So you just buff it into the cost now. It sucks to do. I mean, it makes everything look inflated, but it's the name of the game, isn't it? Because we're all expecting somebody to eat the fees, but it ain't gonna be me, and that's on both sides.
And you see a lot of other ones where it's if you're gonna pay non-friends and family, then you add the 4%, or you do friends and family, and then you lose some of the protection. But again, it's do your research.
You know, and it's funny, I used to do that, and I'm shying away from that now because I've seen some people get nipped and have their account closed because you're not supposed to discriminate based on payment method.
Oh, wow.
If they catch you discriminating based on payment method or requesting to have fees added on top if you choose to pay by, you know, goods and services, they will suspend or close your account.
Really?
And I've heard stories, a couple stories of people that did that. I even looked into it in their terms of service, and it's right there. So you can't say you can't position it and be like, all right, well, you could send me a check for this amount of money, or if you send it by PayPal, the price changes on the shit because they're going to charge me a fee. You can't do that.
Huh.
According to
Well,
terms of service.
The problem I have with PayPal is that, you know, friends and family is fine. Goods and services, I've seen happen to a number of people in the hobby that they get stuff. Oh, you know what? It doesn't have the wear you said. I want my money back, or otherwise I'm going to open up a claim. And people open up these claims, and then you end up trying to get everything back, get your jersey back, and give them the money back. And before you know it, you're fighting to get your stuff back, and you're getting screwed around by PayPal because you're not protected. You as the seller are not protected.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game right now with digital payments through PayPal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm selling a bunch of stuff right now, and I had somebody buy a mask from me about a month ago, and I said, well, you can friends and family me, and he said, I don't have PayPal. I said, great. Well, he goes, would I take a check? I said, yeah, but it's got to clear. Sent me a check, overnighted me a check, put it in the bank, cleared out. I told him it cleared, made sure everything was good. I overnighted him the stuff he bought, and he was happy as a clam, and he felt happy that, you know, I was able to do the deal with him. And if people really want things and are genuine, then they find a way to make it happen. But with this PayPal BS, everybody's using PayPal as a way to scam everybody else. I don't like it.
Yeah, I've started to dabble and kind of look into different ways of accepting payment, and one of the more convenient ones that I found is Google Wallet. If you have a debit card, if you don't have a debit card, go get a debit card. Just throw it up on there, and you can email people money, and it goes right into their bank account, and it's pretty instantaneous. There's transaction records for it. And as far as I know, I haven't seen or read about like battles of payment recovery, because they say right in the thing, don't send money to people you don't know. So then it becomes a normal transaction.
Right.
It's a tricky world out there right now, It's because there's dishonest people.
And I believe that there's a lot of bad people out there. I believe that there's people out there that just try and scam people to get ahead of the game. And, it's unfortunate.
It's like they found a way to get around doing the right thing of, when someone sends me something, paying for it. Because I have found that out a lot lately when you're trying to sell and do all that kind of stuff. People's, you want to ask a price, you say I want this, well then they count you an offer. And then I had to do this recently. I was selling something for, I think it was $400, and someone was like, well, I'll give you $300 for it. I said, let's do $350. That's in the middle of it. No, $300 or nothing. I said, well, then it's nothing for you. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
And it's, and then they get mad at me. Yeah, I said, dude, it's nothing personal. I said, it's nothing against you. I don't even know who you are. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people, when they go to buy these jerseys, they take it personal. Like, when you deny them, and when you make a counteroffer, they take it personal. To me, it's never personal. It's just...
It's business.
Hey. Well, it's not even... For me, it's not even business. It's just... I don't know. Yeah, I guess it is kind of business. But it's just like, I want... $100, yeah, that's an okay claim. But I really don't want to sell it for $100. Because then you're going to want me to sell it to you for $300. But then you want me to pay for the shipping, which is another $1,500 or $15, which means I'm actually getting the jersey I'm selling for $400 for $285.
Right. No, see, that's great because it leads into my next topic of etiquette, like talking about why you should be a good person. And I got a story on that, but people get mad. Those same type of people, they'll get mad if you prefer to sell a jersey that you have to a friend of yours when I would have paid you more. And they want to get all salty about it. And it's like, that's cool, but develop a relationship. Like, again, people undervalue
friendship.
Yeah, just having a relationship with other people. Because I feel more comfortable doing a deal with people that I know than people that I don't. So it's cool that you would have given me $15 more, but it's my friend. My friend's going to be happy, and it's a fair deal for me, and I like my friends. So, I mean, that rolls into the whole topic of etiquette. So, how do I get friends in this hobby? Talk to people, be interested in what they have to say. If you don't like what somebody's saying, move on instead of saying bullshit at them. Everybody's going to say something someday that you're not going to like. And a lot of people are so quick on that block button. And that's fine. That's your prerogative. But you could have let it go. And then maybe find out that this person is interesting. Maybe down the line they could do a deal. Or you guys meet up and have drinks. Like when I used to travel for work, I was always open. I was like, hey, I'm going to be in this town. Anybody around? And that's really cool because then you get to meet people. I've delivered jerseys to people in person just to meet them. Just to meet them. It probably cost me like an extra $10 to go out there and do it as opposed to just shipping it from where I was. But I did it just to meet them. And those opportunities got me a lot of friends. People, will look out for me and say, hey, I saw this thing, do you want it? And I'm like, sure, or maybe not, People work deals with me a little bit more too. It kind of opens up a little bit of a world, Sometimes people start offering shit from their collection to their friends before it hits public market. And then you're like, damn, wish I would have known that was for sale. Well, you know what? If you took the time to be a cool person, like, you might have known. You know? Go ahead.
That it's great because I'll tell you, not to cut you off, but I got a great story about that with Doc. I bought a Pavel Dimitra stick from Doc. It had to be 3 years ago. And I was
probably about that.
I was going to drive to St. Louis because I have friends with the team, and I never got down there. So last year, I finally had to drive down. It was a year and a half ago. Doc had the stick for a year, and I wanted to meet him. We just talked online. I thought he was a cool guy. I wanted to meet him. Drove down, came back up. We met. We started talking about the Blues, talking about everything. And Doc's a great guy. We've created a good relationship. We talk about different things, dealing with the Blues. I'm helping him with certain things. But it's about having that openness. Doc didn't get pissed off that I paid him and he had to keep a stick for a year and a half. It opened up a relationship with both of us, which I think people need to do.
Yeah, and I felt bad that because you paid for it when I put it up for sale, and then I'd had it for so long. I just felt bad that you couldn't get it sooner.
Wait till you come to my house and see all the shit I got. Then you'd be like, yeah, you didn't have any space.
I'm in the same boat with the local collector here. We had a deal for like a year and a half now, and he just recently paid me, and we have continuously touched base and been like, hey, but we're busy people in our lives, we have shit going on. He trusts I ain't gonna sell it out from under him, and I trust he's gonna pay me and get it. So he finally sent me the money, and we're working on trying to figure out a time to get it to him. But it happens when it happens,
Life happens.
No shit. I bought a package of equipment and a jersey from someone. We went and we did the deal in person, and when I got home, I was like, I think I'm missing something. So I called him up, and he's like, I swear I put it in there. And I'm like, all right, well, it's lost. That sucks for me. He's like, I'll comp you for it. We'll figure out something to make it right. I was like, you know what? No, it's fine. And like for me, I had my kids, so I was like scatterbrained, and maybe it fell out of my car or something. Maybe he didn't. I swear that I didn't even see it at all, and that's what was going in my head. But I was like, if it shows up, just let me know. Other than that, I'll eat it. I don't give a shit at that point, And that's how it was left. And I got a call. This was like, 4 months ago? I got a call earlier this week. Hey, really sorry about this, but I found that thing that I told you I gave you and you thought you lost. And I'm going to get it to you soon. I'm like, okay. If I would have responded like a dickhead about it, do you think I would have gotten those? Do you think I would have even been told?
No.
Probably not. But I was just like, it is what it is. Life sucks sometimes. Like, I fucking had a kitchen fire last week, and it sucked for a little bit. But life works itself out. Shit can suck for a moment, and if you learn how to take it, it's gonna get better later on, and people can see this stuff. I get mad about stuff all the time about shit I see on the internet. I don't say anything. I might say something here or mention that it was stupid, but it's not like I go and dig at the person. I'm not out there trying to make people not like me. Because if you do that, if you try to make people not like you, they're going to remember your name. You are more likely to remember somebody's name from a bad experience than a good experience.
I agree.
So if you're infamous, that is a bad thing. That's such a bad thing. I mean, I'm sure all of you guys have a few names that come to mind. And there's people that have shit on me just because of the company that I keep. I try to leave an open space for friends at all levels, And what's funny is a lot of the people that I am friends with now or I talk to, we didn't get along the very first time we ever met or spoke or anything like that. Like, remember Stephen Brooks with the Glendenning jerseys? That was a shit situation, and I left the door open, and I wasn't an asshole. I was a little disappointed, but we became really good friends, He tells me about his personal life, and we talk about stuff and help each other out. It's really cool, and that's a good friendship. Matt Miller, who's on this call but I don't think can talk right now, we've had our ins and outs. I feel like at a certain point we would have gone to blows, but we left the door open, and we were able to come together and develop a friendship. Like, he's on the show now. Me and him talk about different things that are going on in the hobby. I like to think that maybe sometimes I mentor Matt a little bit, and he can nod yes or no if he feels the same, but I like to feel like I give him a little bit of advice here that he either can take or not take based on some of the things that I see, so he can kind of get a perception from outside of a box, because that always is helpful, to have somebody that's going to say, here's what I see from a more objective standpoint. So I might have a bad experience with people, but you leave the door open and something can develop out of it. And that's what etiquette is about. That's what being a good person is about. And yet you always see people out there that are trying to make a name for themselves and being a bully or being a troll. And that doesn't get you anywhere. Because then, even if you have cool shit, even if you have some of the coolest shit out there, the people that have seen you ragging and being a dick and all that, they are not going to care. They're just going to say, here's another post by this fucking guy that I don't care about. And then you got to be the guy that likes his own post. Yeah?
Well, and just like Derek, just like you said, is you talk to even if you don't always get along with everybody, don't be an asshole to a point that you're in a corner or other collectors hear how much of an ass you are, and the pile of people who don't want to work with you gets bigger and bigger. Instead of, even if you don't always get along with somebody, being at least civil enough where other people could come in and say, hey, would you want to do a deal, whatever. And at least if you're fair, and maybe your personality is not great or whatever, but at least you're fair and you can work with people, you'll still get other people that want to work with you, whatever, over you're the guy in the corner that nobody wants to ever talk to or deal with again, no matter what jerseys they have.
I've had friends sell stuff that I'm like, man, I wish you would have let me know, but you don't hold them against it. It's the scenario. Like, people say it all the time that the friendships are worth more than the jerseys, and it's true. I mean, if I were to get out of the hobby, I'd still want to keep my friends that are in the hobby. I like to talk to good people, The rare qualities these days, and the world sucks. I mean, let's admit it, the world fucking sucks. So when you can find good people to talk to, even if it derives from a shitty situation, if you can let this bullshit go. I've got people that block me because I'm friends with this person, or they think negatively of me because I won't discredit, or I won't stop talking to this person that they had a bad experience with. And I can see your point of view on it, but at a certain point you can't do the whole friend of a friend, I hate everybody who's associated with this person situation, because that gets you nowhere. Hopefully eventually everybody gets around to having that 1 degree of separation, but we'll see. I mean, some people are just, that's how they are. It is what it is. What are these guys talking about over here?
We got lots of stuff coming up in the hobby.
Let's see, Brandon Mitra is listening from, I don't know where he's at right now. He's a jet setter, but he's from the UK. He's asking if anybody's going to migrate this weekend. I believe Paul is asking the same in text and not talk.
He didn't want to interrupt you.
Yes, exactly. Did not want to interrupt you. Sorry, Derek.
Hey, you guys interrupt me all the time. I go on these elongated rants about just random shit. Sometimes you need, especially look at this thing. Look at this thing. You think I'm gonna be keeping it, yeah, interrupt me.
We're trying to improve our etiquette.
Well, you can etiquette that. But yeah, migrate? Anyone?
I am not going. I don't know if anyone on this call is. Anyone?
No, I'm going where Paul is.
Where's Paul going?
Well, Paul's going on vacation, but I'm going to the Sharks.
Oh, the shark sale?
Yeah, and then I'm going home and going to the Hawks.
Is that the same weekend as the migrate thing? Or is that the weekend
No,
before? That's this
after.
weekend? Oh, it's after? Yeah, where are they doing that this year? They're not doing it at SAP.
It's back to the practice rink.
Oh, Sharks Ice?
Yes, but now it's Solar America Ice something.
Oh, okay, maybe that's what confused me. I saw the new name and I'm like, that's not fucking Sharks Ice.
Yeah, it will be at the connector section, just like the time you were out here, Derek.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. It's a shame you're not going to that, Paul.
Nope, we've been over this many times before. I was not planning on going this year, so
Paul's angry.
You gonna take some pictures, Dave?
Well, I'm lucky because I get to get in with a suite holder, so I'll be in there early. I'll try and take some, but I'm going to get there as fast to hoard all the jerseys and keep them away from other people.
Strap a GoPro to your head, then you ain't gotta worry about stopping. We'll just
I could do that. Yeah, I could do the GoPro.
That would be sweet.
Then I want somebody else taking video of you running around with a GoPro on your head.
Fuck yeah, and then you can narrate it and shit. That'd be sweet.
There's
live stream.
There's only a couple of things I'm looking for. Martin Jones' Stanley Cup Finals mask and some Jones jerseys, some Pavelski, and Burns Norris Trophy season jerseys.
Burns. Yeah, that could be a popular jersey.
What are their prices like out there?
For gear, pretty good.
Burns does wear 2 jerseys a game. So
he does. Thanks,
He's
Paul.
just like Thornton now. So there'll be twice as many of his jerseys. Typically, Burns has been 900 to 1,400 in the past. The Norris might bump that up some.
So, in the past, Paul's hooked me up with some sticks, but it's been like 3 years since, and, you know, it's always because I buy in bulk and we get them nice and cheap so I can use them, and my team uses them. So if you see somebody worth talking to from there, see if they got a stockpile of, like, back stock they want to get rid of, because I could go for another shipment, because I'm getting damn low on sticks. I think I got, like, 3 left.
Well, Derek, where are you? What state are you in?
Ohio.
Well, my good friend is the head equipment guy at the Blue Jackets. I could always ask him.
Oh, dude, if I can find back stock, just, like, a shit ton of sticks, like, I don't want to say on air how much I've got them for, but...
So reach out to me offline. Doc has all my info. Reach out to me offline, and I'll send him a note, and I'll ask him.
Yeah, that'd be sweet, because I'm running low, and...
It'd be easier than me flying with stuff.
Oh, Paul... I have had Paul ship, 40-some sticks in a UPS box once, and then I went out there, and I brought back underneath a plane, I think, 73.
Oh my God!
In a
73
bag.
for free. I was like a gold Delta flyer or whatever. I could check oversized baggage for free, up to like two bags for myself. Yeah, I checked 73 sticks for free. It was sick. we were in Vegas at the time, so I drove to San Jose. It was like an 8-hour drive with my ma, and we stopped at Paul's, picked up the sticks, had dinner, bullshitted. Did we stay the night? I'm pretty sure we stayed the night.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I got fucking
that's
drunk.
a drive both directions for one day.
Yeah, and then I went back to Vegas, packed them up in Vegas, and Paul got me a stick bag too. That's when I got that 6 stick bag, so we tied them all up in the stick bag. I checked them, and it was sweet as hell, because, like, here's a fuck ton of sticks, right, in this stick bag. It's a San Jose Sharks stick bag, and I'm checking it at baggage. And, you know, people are looking around at me, like, I felt like people thought I was an NHL player. It was kind of dope feeling, but I had to be honest, I'm not anyone. So somebody's like, "Hey man, I know you." I was like, "No, you don't. I'm sorry." He's like, "Don't play low key, man. Can I get your autograph?" I was like, "Dude, I bought these from the team. So
Should have played along.
Beer league.
Should have played along. I'm Elvis. I'm with the Flying Elvises Chicago chapter.
No, it was a good time though. So I'm always on the hunt for sticks because our boards here suck. So you get your blade stuck in the board and it always snaps in half when you're skating through. Yeah, we go through sticks like crazy.
You should have bought. Didn't somebody just had the old Madison Square Garden boards for sale? Why didn't you just buy those and install them?
I don't install my property on government property.
There you go.
Fuckers. They don't. They thought it was more important to rebuild their concession stand inside the building instead of actually like fix the leaks that are inside the building. Concession's way more important than actual function, you know?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So when we play around here, we play where we can play when we can play. It's unfortunate. But yeah, I'll hit you up for some sticks up and whatnot. Hawks Convention, you said that. Miller, aren't you going to Hawks Convention?
Yeah, I'll be there.
And then Dave, you're going?
Yeah, I won't be there Friday because I'll be flying back from San Jose, so I go Saturday and Sunday.
Man, I've been wanting to make my way out there, and every time I get tickets to go, something comes up that prevents me from going. Every single time.
Yeah, the nice thing on this one is that, you know, they do a live auction and then they do a silent auction. So you go in, put all your bids in. Then I'm going to go to the Rolling Stones Expo at Navy Pier for a couple hours. And then I'm going to come back and go to the live auction and finish up the silent auction. So
Nice.
That's my plan.
And that's a 3-day event, and that's more than just GameWorn stuff, because they have like
That's
player
everything,
stuff
isn't it?
and
That
interactive games.
Yeah.
And, like it's a
Yeah,
whole
it's a lot of-
deal.
It's like a fan fest, isn't it?
Yeah.
it's a fan fest, but there's going to be so much stuff. I was talking to one of the equipment guys today, and they have so much stuff, and they're not even sure what they're going to do because it's too much because of the change from Reebok to Adidas that they're freaking out. They had so many stores, and what happened is that John McDonough came in, and maybe you can edit this later. He came in, and somebody was looking for a Panarin jersey last year, and they didn't have one. So he made massive orders of every key player that they had, hundreds of every jersey in stock at every store and at the United Center every game. So now they're trying to get rid of these jerseys at 2 for 1, 3 for 1, 4 for 1. I mean, it's so funny because you think you're doing something right, and now with Adidas in there, they're totally fucked.
They knew that shit was. They had to have known that shit was coming like down the line. That we've known about that for what, 2 years now.
The problem is ego. The person that's the president of the Chicago Blackhawks, and this is a new topic for another time, knows nothing about hockey and has an ego the size of Detroit. So he thinks he knows everything. And the reason I know this is because when my friend Dennis Savard was fired, he told Al McIsaac to have the guy who fired him to come down and explain the difference between offsides and icing to him.
Interesting.
So, yeah, so that's what happens. Your ego gets in the way, and you end up spending money you shouldn't spend, and now they're giving all this crap away. And it's, you know, it's good for the fans, but it's bad that, you know, there's so much of it.
Hey man, I'll take a few $25 jerseys.
Yeah, no kidding. I'll take a Panarin 25. Look great in Columbus down here.
Yes, it will. Columbus. I can't wait.
I'm excited.
At least I know his jersey won't be $8,000.
No. It'll probably be 16, 12 or 16. Because it's my gray, so.
Oh yeah, it is my gray, yeah. Columbus. There'll just be, what, 6 of them per color? Just playing, guys. I know
No, they do. No, my grade. I think Columbus only does 2 sets or 3 sets.
Yeah,
3 sets.
They
three
do
sets.
2.
Because
doesn't set 3.
it'll be
roll into the
interesting.
playoffs?
They'll probably get more out of their home wear since they don't have a third jersey this year.
Oh, that's right. There's no alternates.
Yeah, I can.
So the
ask
home
Timmy-
jerseys will get
Timmy.
more wear. So
Nice. That is something to think about. That's a good call. All right, guys. Well, we're out of time. I think Jason stepped away, so he doesn't even get to sign off. Ah, bastard.
Sad.
And he's not even here to hear me say that to him. All right. Well, I'm gonna close it down, but that was nice, informative, fun. We'll have to think about some topics for the next show. Dave, thanks for joining, man. You should be more regular. We'll get you on.
I'm going to be a regular. This was fun. You let me wash my kid. It was good. Thank you.
All right, guys, take it easy. We'll see you next time around.
All right.